and tired of seeing the stock price go down, 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 and I don't blame them, I don't know, you know, I can understand that. And so your job is to get that stock price up, and naturally, you know, if you do, here's some nice incentives for you to sweeten the pot. All right. Brennan starts to look at different profit centers in Sears. And one of the profit centers he looks at are the auto centers. Now, as you know, you can go to the auto center, you can buy tires, or, you know, muffler, or, you know, shocks or brakes or something. And Sears will gladly sell them to you and install them for you. And he starts to ask the question, is there a way to improve the performance of some of these auto centers? So he does some investigation, and he says, I think I have a good idea. What I'd like to do is I'd like to change the incentive system in these auto centers. Mechanics now, I'm going to lower their base pay, but in addition to their base pay, I'm going to add to that incentive pay. So in other words, I'll pay you for an hour's worth of work, even if you can do that hour's worth of work in less than an hour. So for instance, I might say, well, you know, it takes an hour to change someone's oil. Now, if you're so good that you can change 2 people's oil in 1 hour, I'll give you 2 hours worth of pay, in addition to your base pay. Of course, if it takes you 2 hours to change somebody's oil, you only get 1 hour worth of pay in those 2 hours, plus your base pay. He goes to the service advisors, and he says, you get no pay, just commission, based on revenues. The service advisor is the guy, when you bring your car into Sears and you say there's a rattle and it sounds like this, you know, I don't know where it's coming from. The guy says, well, okay, let's put it up higher and let the mechanic look at it. And then he talks to the mechanic, and then he sits down with you in the showroom and he says, this is what the mechanic tells me, this is what I advise you to do. And you say, well, either go ahead or I want a second opinion or whatever. So the service advisor gets no pay, just commission. In addition to that, they start to run a special. Brake job, $69.99. I'm not exactly sure what's included in a brake job, you know, but whatever it is. This I know. You can't make money doing a brake job for $69.99. You probably don't lose money, but you don't make any money. Well, obviously, you know, people do this all the time. They want to bring you in and hopefully sell you other things besides brake jobs. All right. So now Sears has changed the incentive structure, created this brake special, and what do you think results from this? Well, what results from this are a lot of customer complaints to the Attorney General. So the Attorney General in the state of California decides to do an investigation because he's getting all these complaints about Sears, and he is aware that they've changed things. So here's what he does. Yes?
What are the complaints about?
About, you know, I told my wife to go get a brake job for $69.99. She came back with a bill for $500. Stuff like that. And I told Sears I didn't need those parts, and they insisted I did. And they refused to budge. So here's what the Attorney General does. He gets 38 used cars with perfectly good used parts. He even photographs those used parts to show that they don't need to be replaced. He then puts these 38 cars onto a flatbed truck so that they don't have any additional wear and tear, and has them delivered to within a block of Sears. And tells a customer, probably some, you know, naive young-looking woman or something, to go to the Sears and get a $69.99 brake job. Sends them to 38 Sears all around the state of California. And he says, do whatever the service advisor recommends and bring me the bill. So now he's got 38 bills from these 38 ventures to Sears for a brake job when, and nothing else was necessary to do on any of these cars. And he's got the evidence of that. How many of the bills were for $69.99? Well, no, it wasn't zero. I hope, do I make you guys so skeptical, so cynical? I hope not. Well, maybe I do, but anyhow. Four were for $69.99, which actually I think is a better number than zero because it demonstrates that, in fact, they didn't need, you know, there are at least 4 people that agree with the Attorney General. They didn't need any work other than the brake job. But 34 people didn't agree with the Attorney General. And when he got the bill, the average bill was for $250. This is going back 20 years. And the highest bill was for over $500. All right. He goes to Sears with this evidence, and he says to the CEO, you're defrauding customers. This is fraud, and I'm going to sue you. And at this point, all the other state attorneys general join. You know, that's how that works, is that he's the lead person and everybody else joins in. So now you've got this class action lawsuit against Sears from all the state attorneys general, you know, based on this evidence. Sears says, oh, no, you don't. I mean, you know, you're right. I mean, those bills should not have been more than $69.99. That's fair. But we never told anyone to lie. Not once. We never told a mechanic to do anything like that. So I just want to thank you for identifying those bad mechanics. So now we can fire them. But we didn't do anything wrong. What do you think? Dave?
Well, I think they created an environment where people were incented to do things that may not be required. So if somebody had a bad character and was predisposed to that, it was right for them to behave that way.
Right. Or if I may use your words just slightly differently, Sears may have created a bad character.
Yeah, changing everything.
You know, and then when things went wrong, you know, they tried to act as if, well, the behaviors are wrong, but the character is fine. In other words, mechanics, the behavior is wrong. We'll definitely punish that, but not the character. Now, this is a important, I think,
Just out of curiosity, just by firing those mechanics, can Sears absolve its responsibilities?
well, that's a very interesting question. So that would have been Sears' choice, is to go to the Attorney General and say, thank you very much. You know, with that evidence, we now have enough evidence to fire these bad people, and we're going to.
But then it's like throwing the stone. Sears first hired them.
You know, I mean, that's the question that I'm raising here, you know. Are you comforted knowing that now that we've gotten rid of those bad people, we're fine, everything's gonna be fine? Because that was the problem. That was the problem. Now, I will tell you that the Attorney General, usually what happens at this point is the Attorney General and the company sit down and say, okay, let's negotiate a settlement, because you don't want the publicity of a big lawsuit, which I'm convinced you're gonna lose, and we don't wanna waste our resources, you know, dealing with this kind of thing. Let's agree. And Brennan said, well, yeah, no, definitely, we did some things wrong here, and we wanna pay for it, but, you know, management didn't do anything wrong, just the service advisors. And the Attorney General said no. The Attorney General said, I will not sign off on any agreement until management acknowledges its role and responsibility in this sort of thing. And so he got Brennan to say, that management was responsible